Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the cartoon Flashback. And today I want to talk about a cartoon which is actually one of the most popular cartoons in history. It actually started as a toy franchise in Japan and got very popular here through the cartoon and toy franchise as well. What am I talking about? Well, none other than the Transfomers. Now, as I said, the Transformers started out as a toy line in Japan, and then that toy line got moved over to here, imported over here to the U.S. in the early to mid 80s. Because of that, Hasbro, which did the toy line here, along with Marvel and Sunbow, created an animated series called Transformers. And this went on to be the most popular show of all time in the 80s. There's no doubt about it. Ran for 3 years and produced a movie in between. Now, the movie itself did do so well in the theaters. As a matter of fact, if I can, and as you can see, what I'm using as a reference is the Transformers Ultimate Guidebook by DK. But if I can open it here real quickly, to where they talk about the movie. Here we go. See, they talk about the movie here. Unfortunately, the movie was panned by a lot of critics. Although it had a good storyline and everything, it was panned by a lot of critics because they felt as though it was nothing more than a near 90-minute toy commercial. That's all it was. Despite its good animation and storyline and characterization, they felt as though it was nothing more than a 90-minute storyline. I mean, not storyline, but toy commercial. I'm sorry. Toy commercial. Another reason it didn't do so well either was the fact that parents who had taken their kids to go see it, who were Transformer fans themselves, were not expecting it to be so violent. I mean, you gotta realize that around this time, another toy franchise that was released by Hasbro and produced by Marvel and Sunbow was released in the theaters as well, and that was My Little Pony. Now that came about because they had 2 successful primetime specials that aired, I think, in syndication on network television months before. And also, like Transformers, the toy line was very popular, so they wanted to kind of see what would happen on the big screen. And what was kind of ironic about this was the fact that that movie was rated G, and it was more musical than anything and lighthearted, where Transformers was rated PG, and it was the polar opposite. As a matter of fact, some fans that did commentary on the 20th anniversary DVD said that when the movie came out, it really set the standard for, okay, not just set the standard, but changed how a lot of people saw animated motion pictures from then on because of its violent nature. But it was not just because of the violent nature, it was also the deaths in there as well. As a matter it was the death as well. Matter of fact, these same fan commentators that were lucky enough to do the commentating on that DVD said that after the death of the Autobots at the beginning, after the deaths of characters like Ironhide and Ratchet and Prowl and Brawn, that a lot of parents took their kids right out of the theaters or right out of the drive-ins and said, that's enough, that's it, we're not watching this anymore. Some waited until possibly what they felt hopefully wasn't going to happen, but did, and that was the death of Optimus Prime. And after Prime died, well, of course they took the kids out of there because maybe some of the kids were crying. But like I said, unfortunately, because of that, along with the critics panning it because they felt as though it was a 90-minute commercial, it didn't do so well in the theaters. Although it did sustain quite the popularity on VHS and then later on DVD. And of course, after that, the 3rd season focused on the characters that took the place of the originals afterwards. Basically, season 3 was taking place after the movie. Then, of course, after the season 3, they went on and they produced other toy lines. like the Pretenders. They, you know, continued on with the comics where they crossed over with G.I. Joe. They even brought out a new Optimus Prime. I think I can find him in here somewhere. This is a huge... Now you see, this is all the toys they talk about. Right here, the Power Master Prime. This is who they're talking about. I think that's him. Basically, after a while, just toys and comics, a new series was produced in the early to mid 90s called Beast Wars, and Beast Machines. And this, of course, was a continuation, sort of, I don't know how many years in the future, of the characters. Okay, there's the Power Master Prime I was talking about, right there. That's basically one of the toy lines they were working on. And then later on, like I said, they did the, as you can see, they did Beast Wars, which I think was, like I said, was a continuation of G1, which took place I don't know how many years in the future. And then after Beast Wars, and I think it ran for about 3 seasons, we had Beast Machines, which aired on Fox, which again was a continuation of Beast Wars, and who have the characters and new designs, and so far that was the end of the G1 franchise, if you will. And then we went into the animes that we didn't know much about, felt as though those weren't, to me, I felt as though those weren't really, you know, that good, the Japanese anime ones. You know, Robots in Disguise, Cybertron, Armada, Energon, you know, those kind of things. I really didn't like them. Transformers animated, I'll give it credit. I think that's a little bit closer to what we're used to than anything. But after all this, in 2007, Transformers also got that live-action feature, which broke a lot of box office records, and of course is getting a sequel next month, which I expect will break box office records again. Yeah, but overall, the popularity of Transformers as a cartoon and overall franchise was just one of the, just proves that it is one, it'll go down in history as one of the best all-time cartoons of all time, period, no matter what version you saw. Mostly a lot of people like G1, and as you know, Rhino brought out the G1 series in 5 sets, in 5 box sets. Shout Factory has reformatted that, is basically bringing out a more detailed, a more decent, a more sound-worthy version of the sets. So it just proves that the Transformers are still popular, one of the most popular of all times, and they will continue to be, and probably until the end of time. But that's all I can say on my Cartoon Flashback episode 4 of the Transformers. I hope you liked it, and I will talk to you all next time. Peace.